We're exploring Berlin in 3 days. We'll do a canal cruise, visit some historic sites, go to the Brandenburg Gate, and visit to Potsdam Sanssouci Palace. So let's dive in. We usually book apartments in residential areas because they give us a clearer read on the city. On this trip, we stayed near Alexanderplatz. It's close to major transit lines and it's easy to reach from the airport. There's metros, trams, and trains that connect the entire region from that spot.
The post office.
This neighborhood offers plenty of solid food options and a walkable street, making it a practical base for exploring the day. We have some previous videos of Bulgaria. Maybe you don't know, but we live in Bulgaria. We retired there. And in our previous video, a lot of people were asking us about medical insurance, or how do we get by on what we do about our medical situation. Most of the time we do our checkups in Istanbul, but we have Global Cigna. It's a health insurance policy. It's good for anywhere in the world. And the reason why we're here in Berlin to begin with is because they have a test here, a very advanced test that I'm going to do. And so we just able to just get on the plane and fly here and go do the test. So in Germany, they have top-notch doctors and treatment. And so that's why we're here. Cigna Global is good for anywhere in the world. Actually, it's perfect for traveling and in our situation. But like when we're traveling even, it's good because if you have an injury or sick or whatever. I mean, for example, we were in Cambodia and one of us got sick, so we were able to just go to the doctor. Walking along the river, we check the tour boards to see what's offered. There's a 1-hour route, which stays near the center. But the 3-hour option, it covers more canals and it reaches residential areas. We opted for the 3-hour tour. Seeing Museum Island from the water helps me piece together the logic behind this part of Berlin. The canal was mainly used to carry freight, and its shape still hints at the older network that fed this city. Moving along it, I get why the early planners put so many institutions here. The Berlin Dome shows that early 20th century push to give the capital a ceremonial core. The cluster of museums reflects a whole era when Prussia tried to organize culture in one concentrated spot. From the boat, the layout feels clear. The city, it finally slows down. And now, I can see how its past still guides it in small ways today. This part of Berlin is the Mitte district, and the riverbanks are very popular with locals and tourists for walking alongside the river, having lunch, or a drink at many of the restaurants, and watching the boats go by. There is the Friedrichstraße train station, which is a major hub connecting regional trains, the S and the U-Bahn, and it serves as a gateway into the heart of the city. We roll past Berlin Central Station, and it feels like watching the city shift gears. Then the Reichstag shows up right on the left. That old structure holding its place while the modern bridge stretches toward the new Parliament building. What a contrast between the old and the new architecture. The Cube building sits here and it plays tricks with its angles, throwing back bits of sky and river. Its glass box that never looks the same. Right after we pass the Berlin Central, this massive brick complex shows up, and it's Europe's largest university teaching hospital. It covers pretty much every corner of modern medicine, and the scale alone feels unreal. With thousands of scientists and professors tied into the university research, the place runs on constantly updated knowledge. From the river, it looks calm, but you know inside it's a non-stop machine built for handling almost anything you can imagine. We cruise into a more residential stretch. And that building with the wave-shaped balcony, it catches my eye. Uniquely designed to offer light-flooded panoramic views. Along this stretch, there's newer residential buildings, and they show how common privately owned apartments are in much of Europe. The term can confuse visitors from the United States, where apartment usually signals a rental. Here, the word generally refers to a purchased unit, more like a condo in American terms. It shapes how neighborhoods develop. Ownership changes how people invest in the buildings around them. Old brick warehouses turn into endless rows of homes. Moving along the river means you're leaving the busy center, and we're heading towards Berlin's middle of nowhere zones. You actually catch moments of daily life that you wouldn't see otherwise. And to tell you the truth, the factories, they look better than expected. A few smart tweaks and big concrete boxes, they almost count as architecture. We got to the edge of Berlin's industrial sprawl, and then we just turned around, back toward Mitte, where we kicked things off. Floating along, I found out you could basically cross all of Europe this way, from the Black Sea up to the Baltic, or even Amsterdam. I didn't expect that. It's wild thinking about old canals being the real highways, especially places like the Netherlands, France, and Germany. Back then, everything moved by water, not road. So river cruising feels sort of classy, in a way. Three hours is the whole tour. Honestly, I think 1 hour tour would have been enough. The stretch outside central Berlin is not very exciting. but you do get a sense of local life and also the neighborhoods.
Hello.
Taking the public transport.
Like a local?
Yeah. We just jumped on the metro and we came over here, completely different part of the city. And believe it or not, it's so easy to get around this city. Like we've been taking the trains, the trams, and the metros down underneath the city, and you really can't even see where the entry is. But with your app, it's extremely easy to figure out how to get from one place to another and which is the best option to get there. But you can get all over the city really easy, and it's quick. So one thing though, going from the west side to the east side of Berlin, you can definitely tell the difference. So the only transport that we haven't tried yet is the bus. We've been on the tram, the metro, and the train. We're looking for bus 100. It'll be here in 12 minutes. It's super easy. Zarko just gets on his phone and he can find exactly, first of all, how to get to the bus station. Then it tells you which bus and the quickest route. And this, to get there from here, the quickest route is the bus. Right by the Brandenburg Gate, those crosses and portraits, they remind you Berlin isn't just sightseeing, it's real stories, real loss. It's a memorial for people who died trying to escape East Berlin. Being here, you don't just pass through, you stop and actually think. The Brandenburg Gate is one of Berlin's main attractions, and it draws tourists and locals. The area holds significant historic weight, both from World War II destruction and the later division between East and West Berlin. It's a symbol of recovery. Where once stood devastation, now stands unity. Visiting Berlin means confronting these layers: the impact of the war, the wall's legacy, and the broader events in German history. The gate, it encapsulates much of the city's past in one place. Another great thing to do while you're in Berlin is to go to the Sanssouci Park, and then it's a 15-minute walk to the new palace, which we're doing today. It's really easy to get here. You don't really need a tour. All you have to do is take the train RE1 and follow the route. Get off, and everybody else got off where we did at Sanssouci Park, and we're all walking towards the palace now. The train is less than €5. We got the ABC ticket because that covers this whole distance from Berlin all the way to here. And so it's really inexpensive, a single ticket. We'll show you what the palace is like when we get there.
Actually, Berlin is a fun city. Yes, you can go to Brandenburg Gate, Reichstag. We did that yesterday. It was kind of crowded a little bit. And the wall, there's a lot of history. But I kind of like this right here, being in nature in the park. And we're gonna go check the palace, see if it's for sale.
We're at the Potsdam's new palace, the grand showpiece at the end of the Sanssouci Park. Built to impress, it's a place where royalty pulled out all the stops. The scale itself says a lot about what Prussian kings wanted us to remember. Inside the new palace, the grotto hall is probably the most unusual room. The walls are covered in shells, minerals, stones. It feels more like an art project than a hall fit for kings. It pulls that classic more is more thing, and somehow it works. It's a nice change though, from all the usual gold everywhere. The new palace's interior is renowned for its opulent marble halls. It's impressive with the grandeur and the scale. The bedrooms vary from reserved elegance to lavish royal suites, featuring ornate furniture and elaborate textiles. Artworks cover the space, ranging from historical portraits to vibrant landscapes, creating a museum-like feel. The major highlight is the abundance of painted ceilings, frescoes that depict mythological themes, and royal virtues. The paintings demonstrate both the artistic ambitions and the social status of the palace's residents. Each room offers something unique, whether an intricate fireplace or rare clocks. Even the transitions between chambers are marked by patterned marble and decorative stucco. Exploring the palace provides insight into the grandeur of Prussian royalty and the artistic richness of the 18th century. We just finished the tour through the new palace, and we got a combination ticket. So from the new palace, we're going to King Frederick's private residence, summer residence. And it's a 2-kilometer walk between the two locations. It's very pleasant, it's not too hot. And the trees here are gorgeous, all the beautiful fall leaves. Autumn is really a nice time to travel in Europe, to be honest. Sanssouci Palace isn't just a pretty face. It was Frederick the Great's main hangout. He actually lived here, unlike the new palace, which was just for his impressive events. These gardens are terraces, and they framed his everyday, not just fancy parties. So the king's private residence, we finally made it. When you walk through Sanssouci's summer palace, you realize it's not just fancy rooms and show-off gold. The whole place feels like it was meant to actually be lived in, not just stared at. There's a sense of balance in how everything fits together. From the pale gold walls to the striped fabrics that somehow look modern even after centuries. The artwork isn't applied at random. It's organized, connected. The nature creeping through every detail, flowers, animals, even little painted fences. Frederick the Great, he must have loved being surrounded by this kind of harmony. It's private, cheerful, and alive, not just overwhelming. The insight here is that it's less of a display for guests and more of the king's personal escape from formality. Subscribe and comment. It does help build our travel community. We read every message. Liking videos actually boosts the channel, letting more people join in.